us to guide us in our discussions. In the name of God we pray. You may take your seats. Honorable Ministers, the Minister of State for ESC, Honorable James Magode Ikuya, Honorable Henry Musasizi, Minister of State for General Duties, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Members of Parliament from all the different parliaments, the organizers of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, we are running 1 hour late, so we'll try to be faster in our conversations. We want to welcome you to this East African Community ESC post-budget dialogue on tax and debt, organized by SEATINI, URA, Miaka, the Ministry for East African Affairs, and others as we'll go through them. I want to take this opportunity. Fred Muhumza is my name, just in case you have forgotten or you thought I had changed the names. And I'll be taking you through the session as a moderator, but not as the main speaker for the day. We'll be told how the sessions are going to run. So at this point, I want to invite Madam Jane Nalunga, the Executive Director, SEATINI Uganda, to come and welcome us and maybe tell us what else she has for us. Madam Jane Nalunga.
Honorable James Magode Ikuya, Minister of State for East African Community Affairs, representing the First Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of ESC Community Affairs, Honorable Henry Musasizi, Minister of State for General Duties, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Honorable Members of Parliament here, directors, commissioners from government, the civil society fraternity here, private sector, the Fourth Estate. I also would like to give a special recognition to the various national budget mass partners, including Ministry of Finance, URA, and the Ministry of ESC Affairs. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, we also have some participants online. I would also like to welcome you all to this third edition of the East African Community Financial Year 2023-2024 Post-Budget Dialogue on Tax and Debt. This dialogue is organized under the theme Building Resilient Economies, Tax Harmonization and Debt Sustainability for a Thriving East Africa. The specific objectives of these dialogues are to understand the various measures passed by the East African Community Council of Ministers in the financial year 2023-24 and their implication on the regional integration process and on the trade within the region. We also like to equip citizens with a relevant knowledge and information on tax, debt, trade, and other fiscal-related issues to inspire informed debates and effective citizens' participation in the regional integration process. We also want to heighten transparency and accountability in mobilization, allocation, and utilization of public resources, not just in our partner states, but also in the East African region. This dialogue is also providing a platform for different stakeholders across the East African region to discuss revenue mobilization, utilization, and accountability processes and practices. And we hope that at the end of this dialogue, we can collect recommendations on how decisions and policy-making processes on tax measures and other development issues in the East African region can be harmonized to promote equitable and fair taxation, but also development, inclusive development across the region. Honorable Ministers, the ESC envisions attaining a prosperous, competitive, secure, and politically united East African community. In the quest to achieve this objective, one of the significant events that takes place annually within the East African region is the presentation of the national budgets by the finance ministers of each partner state at the same time, although some two partner states were not ready. This occurs in June and in July as a new financial year kicks off for the majority of the East African partner states. This was part of the resolution in 2007, where the East African partner states agreed to harmonize their budgets, their budget reading, as part of the efforts towards harnessing regional integration, demonstrating that when the budgets are not read together, there was a fear that there will be a risk of policy leaks and unfair business. One of the recurrent priorities of the ES budget process was to harmonize fiscal and monetary policies towards the attainment of the East African Monetary Union. It should be noted from the budgets of the partner states that all the partner states have increased their budgets for this financial year, the coming financial year. However, the revenue collected in the East African countries is still not commensurate with the increasing expenditure needs in the partner states. We have also noted the low revenue collection and unfulfillment of the commitment made by the EAC partner states to attain the tax to GDP ratio of 25%. Therefore, this discussion, this dialogue, we also dialogue on how to address that challenge. Therefore, the dialogue provides a platform for the citizens in the East African partner states to understand the ESC budget for the financial year 2023-24, engage with the various policymakers on how to foster and strengthen regional integration through harmonization and public debt management, but also strengthening how we can be able to strengthen trade, to strengthen the regional integration process. Let me conclude, ladies and gentlemen, by saying that we can and should make the East African regional integration process work for the people, for us, the people, the business community, and also the planet. Thank you, and thanks again to the National Budget Mass partners, especially the ministries of Finance, Ministry of ES Affairs, to ensure that we work together, the citizens, civil society, and the private sector. I thank you so much, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Madam Jane Nalunga, for the welcome remarks. You just need to know that we are live on Smart TV, NTV, URA TV, YouTube, and there's a hashtag ESC Budget 23. And for that matter, you need to be conscious walking in front of these cameras. Those of you who are walking, you need to find a way of either bending, just in case somebody you have been hiding from sees you that you're here. And we are here for 3 hours, so they will have enough time to come and find you. So respect the cameras there because they are broadcasting live, including to Ukraine. Let me invite Madam Irene Mulika, Assistant Commissioner Customs, Uganda Revenue Authority. And you are ATV, people are going to watch you. It's good accountability. They might be thinking she's not in office and she's having fun at the golf course. She's here for these important issues.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, Minister of State for East African Affairs, Honorable Minister of State for General Duties, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Honorable MPs, Executive Director, SEATINI, and all distinguished guests here today, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I stand here representing the Commissioner Customs, Uganda Revenue Authority, and as I have been introduced, I'm Irene Mulika, Assistant Commissioner Trade, Uganda Revenue Authority. Following the theme, the topic for today, perceptions on maximizing taxation and managing public debt for inclusive growth and sustainable development in East Africa. Under the budget theme for the East African community, building resilient economies, tax harmonization, and debt sustainability for a thriving ESC. As URA, our chief mandate is to collect taxes, assess them, and to collect them enough toward our contribution towards the domestic revenue mobilization drive is to collect enough tax and non-tax revenue sufficient enough to finance Uganda's national budget and free Uganda from economic dependency. I will therefore concentrate on what URA is going to do as one of the partner states under the ESC to support the domestic revenue mobilization drive. Our domestic revenue target for the next financial year, 2023-2024, is 29.7 trillion. And this, when collected, will translate to a revenue effort of 14.3% tax to GDP ratio. That is our aim as URA. How are we going to achieve this? As URA, we are going to achieve this through various revenue measures. And these are to strengthen tax administration, compliance, and enforcement. Some of the measures that we are going to take have already been shared extensively, but nonetheless, I'll go through them again. One is that we have the technology advancement drive, and out of that, we have the enhanced implementation of the electronic physical receipting and invoicing system called IFRIS in short. We have heard about it, but this IFRIS is supposed to issue e-invoices and you're supposed to get e-receipts whenever you trade in goods and whenever you buy and sell. So URA is promoting that. That one is to enhance acquisition of real-time information on these transactions and also to help the traders and taxpayers to have better records because you'll straight away know what you're contributing to URA and in a way you'll find it easier to file returns. The other measure that we are continuing with is implementation of the digital tax stamps. These digital tax stamps are a marking that is applied to goods or their packaging and contain security features and codes which identify these goods. They prevent them, they enable us to differentiate them from counterfeit goods, and they enable the owners of the goods to track and trace them. So this means digitalization of your production processes, and the stamps are issued on particular goods that are gazetted. Some of them are like soft drinks, soda, water, beer, cigarettes, cement, and the list goes on. We are also improving our service delivery to our clients. As URA, we are not just an authority, but we are a revenue service body. And we believe that in continued service delivery, improvement in service delivery to all our taxpayers, it shall enhance voluntary compliance, and in that way we shall collect more revenue. So some of the options that we are doing is to ease payment of taxes, and the technologies that are being deployed. For example, we have the USSD quick code. This is an unstructured supplementary service data called a quick code. It is like an easier way of paying using your phone. You just press star 285 hash, and then the menu will come up, and you select according to what taxes you want to pay. Even border riders can use that. Then, of course, you can pay electronically using the Visa and MasterCards. And, of course, also using mobile money. We have options for payment of taxes. Using mobile money, say if you dial star 185 hash, you'll be able to pay your bills, your taxes. And, of course, under the electronic IFRS, electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing system, we have also the electronic physical devices that we are issuing out and that are used to also issue these e-invoices. The other measure that we are taking are measures to curb growth of tax areas. As URA, we continue to engage with our taxpayers, and one of the measures that we are taking on is the alternative dispute resolution. This is a method where we call upon our taxpayers to come and engage with us, and we settle tax disputes harmoniously. And it is preferred wherever you have an objection with URA and you've exhausted the objection process, it is preferred that you come to URA and we sit at this round table and resolve it using an alternative dispute mechanism. It will avoid delays that we all face when we go to court and the costs that come with the court cases and the lengthy processes. In this regard also, just like the Honorable Minister of Finance announced in the budget speech, under the Tax Procedures Code Act, it has been amended to waive any interest and penalty on tax areas outstanding as at 30th June 2023. So we are calling upon our dear taxpayers, those who have tax areas outstanding, to come up and pay the principal taxes now. Please use this window. The provision is limited to taxpayers who shall pay their principal taxes by 31st December 2023. And this measure is also to help in the recovery from the impact of COVID and, of course, the other crises that have happened in this world, like the Ukraine-Russia war. We shall continue to collaborate as URA with all other government agencies and with our dear stakeholders through sharing of information, data integration, integration of our systems, analyzing data to identify and register all eligible persons who should be registered for tax payment. Some of the bodies we are collaborating with are like Uganda Registration Services Bureau, NIRA, National ID Registration Authority, UBOS, and Kampala City Council Authority, among others. Some of the compliance initiatives that URA is undertaking, first of all, as one of the partner states, and as a URA, we believe in enhancing voluntary compliance more than application of enforcement measures. So it is with that upon that background that we shall continue to enhance voluntary compliance through promotion of the Authorized Economic Operators Scheme. This is a scheme, in brief we'll summarize, we call it AEO, Authorized Economic Operators. It is a regional scheme. It is being run by all the East African partner states. And what it implies is that we call upon the taxpayers to come up and have a partnership with the revenue administrations. We call upon them, we do some preliminary checks those taxpayers who are compliant, and we offer them benefits above the others who are going to go through the whole continuum of the risk management measures. So when these authorized economic operators come, we check their financial systems, we do some checks, and then eventually, when they are accredited as AEOs, we give them benefits like faster clearance. They have a choice. If their goods must be examined physically, they choose where they shall be examined from, and they are given priority in all our processes. This is also a trade facilitation measure as one of our objectives to simplify and harmonize our processes and make sure that we spend as little time as possible importing and exporting goods. We shall also have increased engagements and sensitizations of our taxpayers aimed at raising tax awareness, and also this will be done in a sector-based approach so that the needs specific to the different sectors are addressed. This will enhance current efforts to build strong and positive relationships between URA and our taxpayers. We are also reaching out. We have a tax outreach campaign. We have 2 mobile buses. I don't know if some of you have seen them, but they are called Tujenge buses to register and sensitize our citizens on tax matters. So they move around. They are able to move to the different districts of Uganda. And when we move out there, people come up, we educate them, we give them tax information, financial literacy information, and we encourage them to register and pay their taxes. And this is countrywide. It can reach even the remotest areas that we were not able to reach before. So this is going on. And together with this, we have a campaign which we are calling SEATINI. And what this means is we are seeking that voluntary compliance. So whenever you buy goods or whenever you sell, issue these electronic receipts that I have talked of before under the IFRIS system. So as taxpayers, as citizens of Uganda, we encourage you that whenever you reach out, we are saying SEATINI. We are doing it in a friendly manner so that more and more people can be encouraged and interested in paying their taxes. There are lots of goodies to be won out of this, but the ultimate aim is to enhance voluntary compliance. And then we have improved technologies in customs processes. I'll mention a few of them. So we have a technology drive. We have sets of non-intrusive inspection scanners. At the moment, we have 44. These ones aid us in knowing what is in the containers. We don't necessarily have to examine goods physically, and it also helps to fast-track clearance of goods. And also, of course, to see any of the taxpayers who might have been tempted to avoid taxes and conceal goods. It is done regionally. The goods are scanned right from the regions. All the regions in the partner states have scanners, and we are working on sharing our images. That is the way we are going forward, so that we'll be able to receive the images once the goods are scanned at the ports. But right now, we all have the scanners at the borders, also for security measures. One of the things we do as URA is that we are also responsible, together with all the other government agencies at the border, to ensure a safe and secure environment for our citizens. Under that technology advancement, we have the single customs territory as the ESC. This means this is to enhance the customs union in which we are, and our customs systems are interconnected. And so we are able to share information as customs in the region, and that has enabled us to have one declaration, customs declaration made at the ports of entry when goods are entering the country, and also intra-regionally when they are being exported. And this reduced costs of doing business. The goods that we deal with are also tracked electronically. We have the regional electronic cargo tracking system, and this is also one of the risk management tools. So we attach an electronic seal to the goods, high-risk goods, and we are able to track them throughout the region. URA is also planning to use drones going forward. Drones are going to be used as an alternative measure to monitor, to surveil the various porous borders of Uganda. We are responsible to make sure that everyone pays their fair share of taxes. So for those who have been using the porous borders, other than running after them, yes, we do have intelligence-based focused operations, but we shall also use this technology to enhance our efforts. One of the other things we are doing under the electronic single window is one which is like a one-stop center. When you're declaring a transaction, all the government agencies are under it. And so you're able to put in your declaration once, and everyone concerned with it is able to access it once. This reduces costs of doing business, but under it, we are going to embark on rolling out what we call the Advanced Rulings Program. In this, we mean that we want to guide our taxpayers even before the goods reach Uganda, even before the goods are shipped. For as long as you give us the necessary information, we shall issue advanced rulings on valuation, on classification, and on rules of origin. This is going to be done to reduce on clearance time, so that by the time your goods are reaching us, we have already known what is coming, and you know the treatment for it. So that is the mode of operation as customs under URA. It is to do more, deal more with the pre-arrival of goods, do more then, and do less when the goods reach the borders. Distinguished guests, those are among some of the first trade facilitative measures that URA is taking together with the partner states. And above all, we shall uphold our values of integrity. Our values, core values as URA, are professionalism, integrity, and patriotism. Patriotism means we love our country, and we shall be professional. We are continuously building staff capacity, and of course, uphold our integrity. This, if we do this, together with all your collaboration, we are sure that we're on the right path to economic independence, which is our mandate, to collect enough revenue, everyone paying their fair share of taxes, to free our country from debt. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Irene Mulika, for the information. It is easier to get an EFRIS receipt, not as easy to issue an EFRIS invoice when your business is downtown where Baganda Park used to be. But the good thing, I've received information, URA is on WhatsApp, and whoever is managing that WhatsApp, get warned, because I'm about to test you and send you a question, and wait to see whether it is working and how long it takes for an inquirer to get a response. I'll use an anonymous number, just trying to see whether these things actually work, so that I can report to Mulika before we leave here. Honorable Minister Henry Musasizi, I want to invite you to come and address the audience. Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fred Muhumuza, for inviting me to this podium. My colleague, Honorable Ikuya, the Minister of State for East African Affairs, the management of SEATINI, Uganda, and all our partners in the budget month, the staff from Ministry of Finance, staff from ESC, the heads of government agencies who are here,